Ciarancreature. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I decided to make this little intro video just to kind of give some explanations for what this channel is going to be about, and just to let you know a little bit about me and my background. So there are a few things that you probably should know. For one thing, I am a non-binary trans man. My pronouns are they, them, and he, him. I'm not going to be debating this. If you're going to be a dick about it, I'll just block you. But if you do have questions, I probably will be making a video about it at some point, since it is kind of a complicated identity that some people might not be super familiar with. I'm also obviously a goth, and before I became a goth, I was also a punk for years. I still consider myself a punk, so I'll be making some videos about, punk and goth and, music history, the subcultures, their aesthetics, just various aspects of those kinds of things. I will also be talking, obviously, about trans issues. There are going to be two different aspects to that. One of those is going to be more just sort of like weighing in, kind of giving my opinion, talking about my own experiences with various things that I don't really see discussed enough, or that I don't really see a lot of people's voices being listened to enough on these subjects. There are going to be things that I obviously am not really the best person to be listening to about them. Like, for example, I'm not a trans woman, I'm white, I'm able-bodied. There are going to be things that are not part of my trans experience that are still important to the trans experience. So I'm not going to not talk about those things, but I am going to focus more on things that are kind of more in my lane, and maybe sort of refer back to people that are maybe more important voices to be listening to on some of those kinds of things. The other aspect to my trans content is going to be making videos for allies and loved ones of trans people. So the thing is, when I came out, my parents, I felt like, didn't really have a whole lot of resources on how to deal with that. And that did make things kind of hard for a little while. Thankfully they are very supportive, but just being supportive isn't necessarily enough if you don't know what to do with that. I do think that it's important that allies and loved ones of trans people do educate themselves about trans issues, and learn how to process finding out that someone in your life is trans, and because I know that it can be hard, especially for parents, and I'm not saying that it's wrong for it to be hard, but I don't think that the burden should fall on your trans loved one to be the person who helps you through that. I think that's something that you kind of need to work through either on your own or with support from other people, rather than putting all of that on somebody who's just come out, because they're already going to be dealing with a lot, and it's just not really fair to them. I'm also going to be making videos that maybe talk a little bit about literature, because I'm an English major, I love literature, and I love talking about it, so I will probably be talking a little bit about that. I might also talk about a few other things, at least a little bit. I like art history, I like games, so I might talk about stuff like that, but that's not really going to be the main focus of this channel. I might also talk about politics a little bit. I'm going to try to stay away from a lot of that, but there are a few things that I think are going to be important to talk about. For example, like white supremacy and how to combat it, and things like, Irish American identity, because I'm Irish American, and why that's different from being Irish, and how it fits into things like decolonialism and white supremacy and what that means. So I'm going to be talking about stuff like that. I'm going to be talking about stuff that happens in my life that I feel is important to talk about. I'll probably talk about aesthetics, fashion, makeup, things like that, particularly from the goth subculture, but I might also do other kinds of things as well. But that's basically going to be what this channel's about. And yeah, I guess if you have any questions, drop me a comment and let me know. Thanks.